Friday, 20th of November 2020. It's the moment you have all been waiting for. Over to you, Jaden.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our online assembly. Our first sign is called Keep That Wheel Turning.
A nice young man named William Brown. He worked for a wage in a northern town. He worked from 6 till 8 at night, turning the wheel from left to right. Saying, keep that wheel turning. Keep that wheel turning. Keep that wheel turning. Do a little more each day. Now the boss one day to William came. He said, look here, young, what's your name? We're not content with the work you do, so go a little harder or it's out with you. Yeah, keep that wheel turning. Keep that wheel turning. Keep that wheel turning. Do a little more each day. So William turned and he made a rhyme, 3 times round in the place of wine. He turned so hard that he soon was made the Lord High Turner of the trade. Saying, keep that wheel turning. Keep that wheel turning. Keep that wheel turning. Do a little more each day. And William took with the same sweet smile the goods he made grew such a pile. They filled the room and the room next door, and overflowed to the basement floor. Saying, keep that wheel turning. Keep that wheel turning. Keep that wheel turning. Do a little more each day. Keep that wheel turning. Keep that wheel turning. Keep that wheel turning. Do a little more each day. Keep that wheel turning. Keep that wheel turning. Keep that wheel turning. And do a little more each day.
Last half term, we found about the Abbotsbury railway line. This railway line used to run from Upgrade to Abbotsbury. It was opened in 1885 and closed in 1952.
Mr. McBean took us to see some of the remains of the railway. We looked at old photographs and compared them to what is there today, learning about the past like this is called history.
The bridge in this photograph is the same bridge today. It is made of cast iron. The fence in this photograph is the same. It's been replaced by a new fence. The old fence would have rotted away because it is made of wood. I wonder how many trains have gone underneath this bridge. The first trains would have been steam trains. Then there were diesel trains. Now we have electric trains. Electrified rails have been added to the tracks to power the trains. We stood on the bridge and looked at how things have changed since the photos from 1930. Today we can see electrical power lines overhead. There are also electrical lines running down the middle of the track. These were put there when the train started to use electricity as their source of power. Lots of trees have grown and there is a modern house in east now left of the photo. There are also lots more electric lights to light up the station when it's dark. We found about Fred Gardner in this photograph from 1920. Fred worked at the station, and every Friday night when he finished work he would fill 2 buckets of water from the steam train and carry them back to his house nearby for use for Friday's bath night. History tells us some funny stories. We went to the Portisham Quarry to see where the rail tracks were used to be drawn to the quarry by tram tracks. The stone from the quarry was carried down the hill to be loaded onto the train carriages.
We found some rusty old pieces of tram track that were still stuck in the hillside. That is what historians do. They look for evidence of the past.
Tristan, George and I went on a different route. We went to look at Upway Station, but then we went to the church in Upway. It is called St. Lawrence's Church. We went to see the wishing well in Upway. This is where the river way starts. It is very pretty. Snoopy took us to have a drink at the cafe.
Our class events were finished at this old engine shed in Abbotsbury. This is where goods were loaded onto the train. The train went through the big arched door that you can see. Wagon loads of goods were brought in from a big door to the side.
Since the railway line was closed in 1952, there have been no more trains visiting this amazing engine shed. The track has been taken away and recycled, melted down to make other things out of steel. The railway buildings along the track are now all used for other things.
The Upway station is now the office for the Big White Builders Yard. The engine shed in Upway has now a mechanics workshop. The station at Brotherton has been converted into a holiday home, and the station in Abbotsbury became a house.
We have worked as historians to find out how things have changed over the time. There are different ways that we can learn about the past, like reading in reference books and looking at old pictures and maps, looking at artifacts and visiting places.
The best way when possible is by talking to older people that remember what it was like when they were younger. Mr. Spracklin's granddad sent us a video of his memories of Abbotsbury Railway.
So I'm here with Mr. Spracklin Senior, and this gentleman here is my grandfather. How old are you, Grandad?
85.
85. You said that without moving your lips, look.
86 on Boxing Day.
86 on Boxing Day. Now, Grandad, you remember when the railway used to run from Weymouth to Abbotsbury? That's right, isn't it?
Yes.
What can you remember about that?
Well, a lot. I've got it written down here, actually.
Oh, brilliant.
Because, you know, in those days, you used to catch a train in Weymouth. You stopped at Radipole Halt, which is just the other side of Radipole, you know, the bridge over, but just on the left-hand side. I think the platform may still be there. Then you went to Upway Junction, which is now Upway Station. And Upway Junction, you went down to Upway. From Upway, you went to Corriets to Portisham, and finally to Abbotsbury. Now, you used to have a little engine in the front, a little, what was called an 042 tank. That's a wheelbase. You had no wheels in the front, no little wheels in the front. They had 4 driving wheels and 2 wheels on one end, only a pair underneath the where the driver was. Now, when they come back, they had this, what they called an auto coach on it. So the driver, the fireman stayed in the engine, kept the fire going, and pushed the coach back to Weymouth, and the driver was in the front of the coach, controlling the train. So the one I got in here is a model of both of them.
Ah, so you giving
so
me...
So you can take it to the school and show them tomorrow.
Ah, well, I will share that with Year 2 children.
Yeah.
And then Mr. McBean will be very interested.
I've got a piece of track, you can put it on, look.
Ah, fantastic.
I don't need that back, that track, you can throw it away.
The old building is certainly strong and well made. We wonder how long it will last. It is now covered in ivy. You can see where the track could go. The trees and bushes have grown and nature is kicking over again.
We have been learning about different sewing techniques with Mrs. Bernard. We are making painting pictures out of different sewing techniques.
We had a great trip from Maiden Castle Farm during our food and farming fortnight. Hazel showed us the crops has been harvested. We learned how different cereal crops are used to feed the beef cattle at the farm.
A highlight of the trip was seeing the pigs. The piglets like to chase each other around. They dig into the soil with their strong snouts. It is very busy at the farm at harvest time. The farmers collect the crops.
In our art lessons, we do pictures of farming. We do animals, cows, pigs, sheep, horses and chickens.
In English lessons, we have been looking at different types of writing. We have written stories, letters, prayers, poems, descriptions, chronological reports, and non-chronological reports. This picture shows how we labelled bicycles.
We did a big write last them about bicycles. This is factual writing, where we split words into paragraphs. We were inspired for our home learning activity. We were inspired to make posters about the importance of wearing a helmet. We are now learning about myths and legends. These are stories that are very old and have been passed down through history. They often have a moral or teaching element to them. We started last week with the story of Daedalus and Icarus. This is a story from ancient Greece. Daedalus and Icarus were trapped at the top of a tower. They were imprisoned by the evil king Minos. Daedalus was a clever inventor, and he was able to build wings out of feathers and beeswax. They were able to fly away from freedom, but Icarus started to show off, and he flew higher and higher. He flew so close to the sun that the wax in his wings melted, the wings fell apart. He plunged to his death in the sea below. We are looking at pictures on ancient Greece pots. Some pictures tell us what it was like in ancient Greece. Others tell us about the heroes and monsters from the stories that we are important to them.
And now it's for another song. This is a particular favourite of ours. It's called Tingaleo.
Donkey talk, the donkey eat with his food and fork.
Hands together, eyes closed for our prayers. Thank you for our friends at school and for the fun we have here. Thank you for our learning and for all the people who help us. Thank you for great stories that entertain us and teach us. Amen.
Come, little donkey, come,